I've just awoken from a dream in superposition, having dreams that were dreams of the knower, dreams of the process of knowing, dreams of the known, all at once, but connected. And it was so clear. It is so clear to me what I have to do. It's impossible to do this without sharing with you everything, my story, and most importantly, what the important thing is that we've been missing, that we've been lied to about, which is a unified field of consciousness that we are rooted in, that is the love between God and ourselves reciprocated. What I mean by that is this consciousness that we are all a part of, that it's what exists before all things. It is God, but it is only when we recognize that it is God that we've been led by, and that we have participated in listening to His guidance and following His guidance. And when we've reciprocated that love, that's when it becomes this unified field of consciousness that is the Atman. That's the difference, my friends. That is the key difference of why this is not anything quote unquote new age. New age is, honestly, I haven't even looked into it, but my dear friend, Brother Scotty, who experienced that in his life and whom I've used as an advisor before, has decided that is what New Age is it's leaving out God from our human experience. It's thinking that we can make it, we can ascend without God, and that's an impossibility. We are all connected, but without God, that's worthless. I guess it would be more correct to say without God, we are not connected. He is the fabric, and I prefer to think of Him as a He, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, I didn't. Most of my life, I was kind of like, I felt like, I don't know, I felt loved, very loved all my life. Oh yeah, yesterday was National Red Panda Day, apparently, and that reminds me of you, Chris. So shout out to Chris. I've recently put together a team of advisors. I love all you fellas and Sister B, and I appreciate you guys letting me. I'm a little intimidated to use my advisor team. I know that's silly, but I'm trying to become comfortable as a leader, as knowing that I am. I guess I should tell you my name. My name is Erin. Anyway, let me get back to the grits. So, it's not New Age. This is what we've been kept from. This is the lie that we've been told, that there's not this unified field of consciousness that we exist within. All things that exist must exist within this unified field of consciousness. And it is God, and it is indeed what guides me every day in my life. It is what I pray to. And I've thought only after the dreaded effect, okay, the ME, the Mandela-ness, only after that started happening and the Bible started changing, did I ever, first of all, start reading the Bible. I had tried to read it. Honestly, it was like I would be instantly dyslexic. And when I picked it up, when my dad died, September 18th, 2015, I picked up the Bible about 10 days before the Mandela effect hit. And I suddenly could read it. It made sense to me. And so I started tearing into it, and I started buying other versions of it, and I joined groups that were discussion groups about it. And even though I was new to the Bible, I was made a leader of these groups, a moderator. And I think it's because I bring people together. But I know I'm making a lot of I statements. I don't like to do that. But it's impossible to tell this truth to you guys without telling my story, because it's embedded in my journey. It's embedded with how I've come about discovering this blessed news that God exists, you guys, and He's wonderful, and we can talk to Him. But you guys already knew that. You can pray. Everybody can. It's not hard, right? There's an interactive consciousness, though, that God is very much a part of. Like it's His love and ours reciprocated. That's the key. It's that you got to give yourself to God, meaning you got to be all in. You got not that you got to go, like flag yourself. I mean, like, not that you have to. It's effortless, other than turning and loving God, loving Him right back. Because you know what? That's all you have to do. That is all. Well, honestly, it helps. Okay, I have found in my experience that God feels very far away unless I truly love and forgive all my brothers and sisters. Because when someone has hurt me, I feel far away from God. And that's like, hey, God, why are you far away? Why aren't you here? I don't feel the connectedness. Why? Well, you know why? I figure it out every time, and I'd have to figure it out every time, because it's something you do. You just kind of have to learn this lesson over and over. That indeed you have to love all your brothers and sisters. You have to forgive them. If you don't forgive them and you're holding on to guilt, tell you what, you're keeping your own self from God. It just happens that way. Man, the best I can explain it. I guess all my life I had kind of had a complaint, being a female, that there weren't really any female heroes in the Bible. They were mostly just dudes. And then they talked about, there was Mother Mary, who they talked about was a virgin, and they didn't really explain much about her or her life. And then there was Mary Magdalene, who was lied about in the Bible. And she was very much a hero. But I won't get into that right this moment. The early Christian church, one of the first popes, I believe it was the third pope, really did a number on Mary Magdalene. He basically just took out of he made it so that all women thought they were not welcome to be leaders or to be in the church really at all, but to be subordinate. And it was effective. It was a very effective tactic. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I started referring to this benevolent force, God, as a father when basically the Lord's Prayer changed from saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, for we forgive those who trespass upon us. And I'm not sure if there's more after that. To be honest, I was always so embarrassed. I didn't know the Lord's Prayer growing up. I didn't even know what it was called so that I could look it up or ask my friends. Like, I would be like, hey, what's that thing everybody says? Like, that thing that everybody knows when we say it at, like, get-togethers, family reunions and funerals and, I don't know, football games. Sometimes people they close their eyes and say it. Nobody knew what I was talking about. I was like, it's a part of the Bible, I think. I really wanted to go to church. I was mad at my parents for not taking me to church when everyone else felt dragged as a child. I felt gypped because I would complain that I wasn't going to get as good of grades on my college exams because I would fail all the questions that referred to the Bible, which is pretty funny to think about now, that's what my young mind was worried about. But anyway, I digress. When the Lord's Prayer started to change, it took away it said, Our Father, which art in heaven, not who. And that right there, that sort of infuriated me. And I talked to someone who was I talked to an advisor of mine, and he had studied Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, for the specific purpose of knowing the Bible. And knowing the Bible in the original text. So because of that, he sort of, I guess, calmed my feelings a little bit, because he told me that sorry, I keep hearing some music somewhere. He told me that Hebrew is sort of like that it would say which. It wouldn't say, it didn't really have pronouns. So that is an okay translation. And in a roundabout way, I guess I realized he's right, but it still felt like it was quote unquote, Mandela effect, whatever, was a change in our quantum existence, a change in our linear timeline, I guess is a better way to say it, from Our Father who to Our Father which is not only a homonym for the word witch, like that kind of witch, but also it's taking the person out of God, which really is okay, because God isn't a dude hanging out in some clouds, man. He's got a white beard, like that's of course laughable. That's not what God is. And it's really, I guess, if I'm thinking about it, it's really erroneous to say who. But I don't care. I want to think of God as our Father. That is the most comfortable way for me to say, to refer to God is to say, our Heavenly Father, and to address Him as Father with a capital F, respectfully, in reverence of His power, in reverence that we don't exist without Him, in reverence of all the love and all the guidance, indeed, that He has given me. He has blessed me very much. So, that is the field of consciousness that I'm referring to as of recent as the Atman. The word Atman is only an ancient word. It was developed in the Himalayas. And I'll make more videos about that, about the guys who developed that, because I'm only now looking into it. But it's okay if you don't want to use that word. Just please understand that there's a unified field of consciousness that is love and that we're all embedded in, and we cannot exist without it. And it is God, but it is the reciprocation of love between God and ourselves. That's the important part. That's the key takeaway. So I'll study more about the resonances of the words, these ancient words, and I'll stop using them because they're making people uncomfortable and confused. And that's the last thing I want to do, my brothers and sisters, is make anyone confused. There's enough confusion. I don't mean to cry, but this is kind of a wonderful thing that's happening, and we're all a part of it. So, I love you guys, and I know you feel me. And have a beautiful day. Know that God is within you, He surrounds you, and He loves you. And that cannot be taken away. We cannot be separate from it. So know that as you walk and enjoy your beautiful day here on earth that He made for us. Okay? And I'm gonna finish up some other videos and finally get them out, because I have a lot that I have not put forth. Just, I don't know why. Didn't seem the right time, or I don't know why. So much love to you, my friends. I know you feel me. Thanks for watching and being here with me.